Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Superstar Bianca Belair has been one of the biggest babyfaces in the women's division for a long time now. The former women's champion has managed to become one of the most popular stars in history and has been very successful at WrestleMania over the years. This year's show of shows featured Belair battling Io Sky and Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship to kick off Night 2. While Belair is a massive babyface, she was greeted with boos by fans at Allegiant Stadium, which came as a surprise to many. With the star doing nothing to officially turn heel, the fans turning on her and booing her is not a great sign. However, the reason for this reaction from the WWE Universe is Rhea Ripley. The latter was initially set to enter the grandest stage of them all as the champion herself. However, during a title match on Raw and after Elimination Chamber, the EST of WWE distracted the Eradicator, helping Sky pick up the win. This set up the triple threat match on the grandest stage of them all. Further, while Ripley was trying to get herself added to the Women's World title match at WrestleMania, Bianca Belair gave her best to resist the former champion's inclusion, which is the reason fans have turned on the star and have been booing her a lot lately. Over the past few months, Rhea Ripley has faced a lot of betrayals, with the biggest one being that of Dominic Mysterio, who chose to side with Liv Morgan at SummerSlam last year. During the countdown to Night 2 of WrestleMania 41, Ripley was asked how her recent experiences have affected her road to the show of shows. The former WWE Women's World Champion stated that she had a lot of trust issues with everyone, and the only person she trusted now was herself. Ripley added that she considered Belair and Sky to be two of her best friends, but things took a turn for the worse and she couldn't trust them anymore. With WrestleMania 41 set to determine the new Women's World Champion, time will tell what WWE has in store for all three women on the grandest stage of them all. Bianca Belair is undeniably one of WWE's most gifted athletes, a once-in-a-generation talent whose combination of power, speed, charisma, and athleticism has made her a staple of the modern era. Dubbed the EST of WWE for being the fastest, strongest, and toughest, Bianca's rise to the top was a moment of pride for many fans. She burst onto the main roster like a storm, and her iconic WrestleMania 37 main event with Sasha Banks was a historic high point, both culturally and emotionally. Yet, despite her accolades and trailblazing journey, there's an increasingly vocal segment of the WWE Universe that's been booing her, sometimes louder than anyone could predicted. Why would fans turn on someone who has carried herself as a proud, confident, and positive representation of strength? The answer is far more complex than it seems on the surface. In wrestling, crowd reactions often evolve. They aren't just about the character portrayed on screen. They're about perception, context, and storytelling momentum. When fans started turning on John Cena, it wasn't because he was a bad performer. Quite the opposite. He was at the top of this game. But fans grew wary of his constant wins, his predictability, and the way his character was often presented as invincible. With Bianca, a similar sentiment has quietly begun to bubble. The boos didn't happen overnight. They built slowly, in whispers and pockets of resentment that eventually grew into a chorus. One major reason is overexposure. Bianca Belair has been consistently featured in top-tier storylines since early 2021. She's held championships, headlined pay-per-views, and defeated some of the most decorated stars in WWE. While that's a testament to her skill and marketability, WWE's decision to keep her perpetually in the spotlight, without significant character development or vulnerability, has made her feel too polished, too unstoppable, and for some fans too forced. The organic energy that once propelled her started to feel artificial to certain corners of the audience. The EST mantra that was once empowering started to feel like a script, repetitive, predictable, and detached from reality. Another contributing factor is the lack of moral complexity in her character. While WWE thrives on gray areas, characters with flaws, backstories, and conflicting motives, Bianca has often been portrayed as the unwavering babyface, There's no edge to her persona, no hint of inner conflict. She's the smiling, braided hero, always overcoming odds and doing it with a confident flair. But that approach can wear thin. In an era where fans cheer for anti-heroes and crave emotional depth, Bianca's clean-cut image can come across as one-dimensional. It doesn't help that in matches, her dominance sometimes feels too absolute. Fans want to believe in the stakes. They want drama, desperation, a sense that anything can happen. But when Bianca's power moves and comeback sequences start to feel formulaic, the emotional investment wavers. Instead of rooting for her triumph, fans begin to resent how often she wins and how rarely she loses. It's the Super Cena effect reincarnated, just with a different smile and a braided whip. Then there's the booking. WWE hasn't always done Bianca any favors. While she's had memorable matches, many of her rivalries have lacked depth or resolution. The feud with Becky Lynch had a red-hot start with the 26-second SummerSlam loss, but it fizzled in storytelling after their WrestleMania 38 rematch. Her subsequent title defenses sometimes felt like placeholder matches, where Bianca retained because she was supposed to, not because the story earned it. And when she finally lost her title to Asuka, the build felt underwhelming, robbing the moment of emotional weight. These creative decisions have alienated fans who crave nuance and purpose in title scenes. Another undercurrent to this shift in reaction is the rise of new stars. WWE's women's division has never been more competitive. From Rhea Ripley's dominant reign to Io Sky's technical brilliance, there's an influx of fresh faces and evolving dynamics. Some fans are ready to embrace change, and Bianca's continued push is viewed by some as standing in the way of new momentum. It's not about disliking Bianca. It's about being ready for something new. The cheers turn to silence, the silence to apathy, and apathy to boos. Social media plays a massive role in shaping perception. Clips, comments, and narratives go viral in seconds, and once a wrestler starts getting negative reactions, the echo chamber amplifies. For Bianca, criticisms about being overbooked or protected get recycled and exaggerated, leading fans to boo not just the character, but the idea of what she represents in WWE's hierarchy. That perception becomes hard to shake. Every time she wins, the backlash grows. Every time she appears, the whispers return. But perhaps the most ironic twist of all is that Bianca Belair herself has done nothing wrong. She's continued to show up, put in the work, and represent herself with authenticity and class. The boos aren't a result of scandal or failure. They're a byproduct of success. That's the tragedy of modern wrestling fame. When a star shines too brightly for too long, fans begin to crave the fall just as much as the rise. There's also an element of audience fatigue. When someone is constantly winning, constantly smiling, and constantly on camera, the mystique disappears. Bianca was once a breakout star with an underdog spirit. But now she's the established face, the safe pick, the default champion. That story only works for so long before fans begin to root for someone else. Someone hungry, different, unexpected. In some ways, the solution isn't to force fans to cheer Bianca Belair again. It's to let the character evolve. Let her show cracks in the armor. Let her question herself. Let her get angry. Let her chase. The most beloved characters in wrestling history have all been through the valleys: heartbreak, betrayal, frustration. That's where the connection deepens. If Bianca is going to recapture the magic, she might need to lose more than a title. She might need to lose herself, only to find her way back with something new to say. A potential heel turn, for example, could reignite interest. Not in a cartoonish, villainous way, but in a calculated, self-aware transformation. Let Bianca call out the fans who turned on her. Let her say, "You only loved me when I was chasing. Now that I'm on top, you resent me." Let her lean into the truth. Wrestling is at its best when real emotion blurs with scripted drama. Until that evolution happens, the boos may continue. Not because Bianca Belair isn't great, but because greatness without struggle starts to feel hollow. The WWE Universe is ready to see the next chapter, the deeper story. And maybe, just maybe, the fans are booing because they still care, because they remember how much they once believed in her and want to believe again. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.